Yes, with the NBA AllStar Voting first fan returns. These dropped yesterday. Quite interesting, the results here. A couple of very intriguing developments. Jokic leads the front court in the Western Conference, 1.4 million votes for Nikola Jokic. That's not really a surprise there. You have Kevin Durant coming in second. He's had a tremendous season, obviously. Just missed a lot of time. The Suns are a very, very weird team currently. But Kevin Durant's been awesome. LeBron, I mean, it's kind of crazy. LeBron's 300,000 votes behind Nikola Jokic. That's a little crazy to me. You know, obviously Jokic is a better player than LeBron James, but we're talking about LeBron James here. He's been the captain for how long? How many years in a row has LeBron been the leading vote getter? Anthony Davis, 999,000 votes. Wemby at 5. I would venture to guess the NBA would like for that number to be higher. And we'll talk about another player here in a second. But I would venture to guess the NBA probably wants Wemby to be the leading vote getter, or up around the 1 million mark. And then you have a massive drop-off. So Victor Wembanyama, 900,000. Şengün, 300,000. J-Dub with the Thunder, 188,000. Wiggins, 187,000. Domantas Sabonis, 148,000. Jaren Jackson Jr., who's having a tremendous season and absolutely deserves to be an all-star. 103,000 behind guys like Domantas Sabonis, Andrew Wiggins. The backcourt in the Western Conference, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the pack with 1 million votes. Luka Doncic, who will not be playing in this game, 870,000. Well, I say Luka's not going to play in it. There's no way Luka plays in it, right? Absolutely no way. But he's second right now, 870,000 votes. If I had to guess, he probably still would not have played a game by then. Steph Curry at 810,000 votes. This game is in Golden State. Steph Curry will be there, although I will say I do not think he's been an all-star level guard so far this season. Kyrie Irving, fourth. That's good to see. 500,000 votes. It feels like Kyrie is going to be an all-star this year. He really does deserve it. Anthony Edwards. James Harden is probably really deserving of an all-star game. Ja Morant's probably deserving of an all-star game. De'Aaron Fox, for all of the Kings, flaws and all of the De'Aaron Fox discourse, probably deserves to be an all-star as well. D-Book. Norm Powell, 10th. How about that? 110,000. Who's missing from the backcourt in the Western Conference? Who are we not talking about? I feel like we're missing somebody. Kyrie really deserves more than Luka. Luka's not going to make it, man. Is there a game threshold? Am I wrong? What up, Philip? Salute. Maybe I'm wrong. Norm Powell making the All-Star game would be great. Nick was like, they probably have a first-time All-Star. He was talking about the Clippers. And Norm Powell, and I was like, there's next to no way Norman Powell makes the All-Star game, man. You always think about this guy should make it, that guy should make it, and then you realize how little spots there are and how fucking stacked the league is. Just probably not making it. Big Kyrie starting. Kyrie starting is a possibility. Well, no, it's going to be Shea and Steph. I mean, the game's in San Francisco. Then we go to the Eastern Conference where we really start to get some interesting stuff out east. Giannis is the leading vote getter overall at 1.7 million votes. Just goes to show how popular Giannis is. How popular Giannis is. The leading vote getter overall. Jason Tatum, number 2 at 1.3 million. Then you have Karl Anthony Towns, Big Bodega, over 1 million votes with the Knicks. Now, this is interesting because we'll get to Jalen Brunson here in a bit, but Jalen Brunson has less than half of that. Jalen Brunson's at 470,000 votes, where Cat is doubling up Jalen Brunson. I find that really, really interesting. And there was a lot of tweets I saw because of this that was just like, Why does Jalen Brunson not resonate as much as he probably should? The leading point guard on the Knicks, finished top 5 in MVP voting last year, has really completely and totally brought that franchise to another place entirely. The biggest franchise, one of the biggest franchises in the NBA, one of the biggest franchises in all of sports that's been desperate for not only a competitive team, but a point guard. And it's just, it doesn't feel like it resonates that much. I mean, New York fans love him, obviously. But that's interesting to me. Brunson can't play defense to save his life, and no one wants to talk about it. I mean, there's been plenty of guys. I mean, we're going to talk about a guy who does not play defense at all. Dominican Republican voters. But that's crazy to me. That cat. And it could also be the way that the voting system is set up inside the NBA, the NBA infrastructure, with who pops up first whenever you look at choices. Cat's obviously going to be an all-star. I mean, Jalen Brunson's going to be an all-star. They both deserve it. Paolo, who's played 5 games so far this season, 480,000 votes. That's a good sign, I think, for the NBA. Jaylen Brown, 433,000. He's 5th. Jimmy Butler, 6th. Be a little surprised if he's an all-star this year. Franz at 7th. How about that? Franz with more votes than Joel Embiid. Wow, what a timeline. What a timeline we live in, folks. Our guy Franz Wagner, obviously he's injured as well. But Joel Embiid at 8th with 170,000 votes. Paul George at 9th with 167,000 votes. And then you have Mobley. So interestingly enough, I just talked at the start of the stream about the Cavs. Not a lot of respect here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Evan Mobley at 10th. Evan Mobley absolutely should be an all-star this season. I really do think the Cavs have a solid argument for having 4 all-stars in this game. With Mobley, Allen, who's not even top 10 here, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Because they don't have PR like SGA and OKC. I mean, even the Thunder, like Shea, obviously, 1 million votes. But J-Dub is, J-Dub's 7th. But I mean, both those teams should be having multiple all-stars. The Thunder would probably have 3 all-stars if Chet was healthy. That's just the way it is. Usually the best teams get multiple all-stars. And then the backcourt. Here is the most interesting result of this whole thing. And it's a really, really good... it's a really good time to reflect on some of this stuff and really think about some of the bigger picture stuff here. LaMelo Ball is the leading vote getter amongst guards in the Eastern Conference with nearly 1 million votes. Number 1. And he's got a comfortable over 200,000 vote lead over number 2. LaMelo Ball. I don't think, it's hard to process this, how much LaMelo Ball resonates with 12-year-olds. That's really it. We talk about Zoomers. I think we got to go beyond Zoomers. I think we have to go beyond Zoomers with LaMelo Ball. I think we're talking about Generation Alpha. How old is Generation Alpha, people? Man, I saw that we're now entering Generation Beta, and I saw a people born between the early 2010s. Yeah, he resonates with 14-year-olds. We talked about, I saw a thing that it was like a graphic of all the generations. According to this graphic, I'm a Zoomer. I don't know how I feel about that. Not sure how I feel about that. But no, kids do love LaMelo Ball. We know that for a certainty. He's a very popular player. Obviously, the Ball brothers, very popular. They resonate with a younger audience. It is just crazy that this guy nearly has 1 million votes, is kind of pacing the Eastern Conference backcourt, which is very stacked and talented. And it does make you wonder. It makes you wonder, should the NBA be pushing LaMelo Ball a little bit more? Their team is terrible. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been tuned out a little bit from the Charlotte Hornets shenanigans. You guys know I love them. You guys know that I've always been a very strange believer in them. But LaMelo Ball also is dealing with an injury currently. And I mean, he's still averaging 30 points a game, 7.5 assists. He's fucking good. He is good. He's fun to watch. Kind of crazy to me that LaMelo Ball has more votes than Steph Curry. Like, what? He has more votes than Steph Curry. Second is Donovan Mitchell. Third is Damian Lillard. Always been a very sneaky, I would say sneaky, very popular player. Then you have Jalen Brunson, who we talked about just a second ago, fourth with 477,000 votes. Trae Young, fifth. Cade Cunningham, sixth. I do think Cade Cunningham's got to be an all-star this year. He absolutely deserves it. Tyrese Maxey, seventh, 246,000. Hasn't been a great season for Tyrese Maxey, but he's picked it up recently. Jordan Poole at eighth. How about that? A resurgence here for Jordan Poole. He has been much better this year. I'm happy for him. Tyler Hero at ninth. Absolutely deserves to be an all-star. No two ways around that. 125,000 votes. Derek White, 10th with 120,000 votes. Not sure Derek White is deserving this year, to be honest with you. He's had a weird last month or so. So that's interesting to me. And we'll wait a little bit and I'll do my all-star ballot here in a few weeks. Maybe we start doing like a weekly all-star ballot or something. I'll have that next week ready for you. Poole over Hero. Well, this isn't fan voting, but Poole's not making the all-star game. Tyler Hero, absolutely needs to be an all-star. You know what's here? No Bam Adebayo. Very disappointing season for Bam. No two ways around that. Anyone else missing? Any notable names where you're like, how the fuck is that guy not even on the ballot? Halliburton, yeah. Tyrese Halliburton. What a fall off. And you think like Siakam too. Like Siakam couldn't crack 100,000 votes. Or maybe he might have cracked 100,000 votes, but Poole getting 14-year-old votes for the baddie TikToks. I mean, he's a popular player. He probably also gets some Warriors fans. It's a very large fan base. Some Warriors fans who are like, Jordan Poole, I'll vote for him. No Rockets. You do have Şengün here, but the Rockets are an interesting one. Who do you put in? Who do you put in if you're the Rock? Like, it's Şengün, and there's no one else who's really worthy of an all-star nomination from that team. No Jalen Johnson. Yeah, no Larry Markkinen. Jalen Johnson's a deep cut. Not yet. Jalen Johnson needs like a playoff moment. And then I think people will be like, oh shit, this guy's sick. Like, this guy's awesome. He's good. He talks shit. He's a dog. He dunks hard. He needs a playoff or like a big primetime moment. No Dwight Powell. That's the real shame in all